day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and every member of the Cha-Cha Nation. Welcome to the first episode of the second season of the Cha-Cha Let's Talk Music series on the Cha-Cha Music Review podcast, which is now being brought to you by Absolute Art Media in collaboration with the Ape King Nation and One Star Communication. My name still remains Hafeestonova, aka your musical plug, creator of the Energy Force. This episode is dedicated to my late dad, Alhaji Abdulfatai Arowosola Onitilo, who died on the 19th of January 2021. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Today we'll be talking about the influences that our parents had on us musically growing up. I mean, if you are in a Nigerian house and you grew up with a Nigerian parent, definitely there are some certain kind of song you could not listen to, and the certain kind of song you were allowed to listen to. And today, as usual, I'm not going to be alone. I have a beautiful guest in the house, and I'm going to allow my guest to introduce herself.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Temi Gold, a freelancer and also a podcaster.
Temi Gold, welcome to the podcast. It's nice having you here.
Thank you.
So today we'll be talking about those how our parents influenced us growing up musically. Okay. I mean, talking about being a Nigerian child and a Nigerian parent, you know that in every Nigerian household, your parents always have a say on the kind of music you should listen to growing up. And growing up, eventually, that kind of affect the kind of music we listen to, be it gospel, be it secular music, or be it just any kind of music. So, for you in particular, was there any kind of music that, because of the influence your parents had on you musically now growing up, that you were able to listen to and you still listen to up to date, or you don't listen to anymore?
Well, I actually came from a family that we love music a lot. So I don't always have they don't have a restriction to the kind of music we listen to. And we listen to juju music, we listen to hip hop music. We don't really listen to rap music, and till date, I don't listen to rap music.
Really?
I don't listen to rap music. I just maybe if I just want to just to catch some listening, then I could listen to Emma. You know, Emma is really good. So, but I don't have this type of rap thing in me, like listen to rap music now. But when it comes to R&B, when it comes to this Afrobeat, and Afrobeat too also has restriction. You know, there are some that they uses different kind of bad languages. So we were not always. They don't play that kind of song.
Yeah, I mean,
so
growing up in a Nigerian house, like let me use my dad and I for example.
Okay.
Now, if not for my dad, I'm not sure I'll have listened to Afrobeat. My dad was a big fan of Fela growing up.
Okay.
So whenever we are always driving around in his car, Fela is always going to come up.
Okay.
And he's also a big fan of, juju and Akpala music. I could remember Arowosola, but there was this popular Arowosola song then that my dad used to listen to in his car always. And
wow.
In my mind I was like, what's this? Because me, I grew up listening to hip hop.
Yeah.
Hip hop has always been my thing. But listening to those kind of what's this man always? And there's no how whenever you're in the car with him, he's always going to play that song. So if not because of my dad, songs like I said, Fela, Arowosola, Shina Peters, even Barista, even this song, I think Obey used to be my dad's favorite. I can't forget. My dad made me love this Obey song. Lomo mi rántí ìtàn bàbá kan pẹ̀lú ọmọ rẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń gun kẹ́tẹ́kẹ́tẹ́ lọ́lùfù. That song, even not for my dad, I don't think I would have been able to know that song. And then, like you rightly said about parents censoring the kind of songs you should listen to. They won't want you to listen to songs that had vulgar language and bad words and stuff like that. Yeah. I think back then also, the songs my parents were listening to were those kind of songs that you have to think and you have to pick up one or two messages from those songs. And I feel in a way that kind of helped me, to elaborate my my musical scope. Because left for me, I would have just done strictly hip hop. But because of my dad, I was able to do Afrobeat, I was able to do juju, I was able to do Akpala, a little bit of smooth jazz. Because at times my dad would just bring out some of this classic rock music, and I'm like,
where's this coming from?
See as Yanni just dey sweet for my ear. the Cha-Cha Let's Talk music series with Hafeestonova. Hey God, conversation with the boss brain.
Definitely, there has to be some kind of music that they will never allow you to listen to.
Well. Well, during those days, they don't play songs that has these vulgar languages.
Okay.
You were talking about the female sexuality, the boy sexuality. No, they don't play this kind of music. Until date, I don't listen to this type of music. You can barely see me sit down, pick up a Naira Marley song, and I would just say I want to listen to it.
I know it's funny when you mentioned it, because I remember there was a time I was singing. Okay, I think I was listening to a song and I was singing out aloud, and my dad was like, you know, let me say it in English. My dad was like, you are just listening to all this, foul music. You are not listening to a song that has content and all that.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I said, come, Dad, are you trying to tell me in your own days you didn't have songs like that speaks about? I mean, you have Arowosola that sang iná ti ràn FACTB kẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ kẹmújó iná ràn ó kọ ọmọ tí ó tọwọ́ bẹ̀rù iná wọn ẹ sì dín mú kẹ́ ẹ mọ́wọ́kọ̀ sórí ẹ mọ́wọ́kọ̀ sí bẹ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìdí kẹ́mi àjò lọ olómi lómi dákun jọ̀wọ́ small mi dákun bèbí mi kò rotate pátápátá. Or even this Kollington song that said sisi tó ń lọ wẹ̀yìn ìwọ là ń bá rí kó wẹ̀yìn o no àwa kì í ṣe tàmí. I mean, those songs were in their own way talking about a male and a female sexuality in their own coded way, but it was coded
not as much as our own
as
generation.
The Naira Marley now.
Our own generation, they will break everything down. In our generation, they will break everything down for you. That even a little baby, like you won't even feel comfortable for those small children to listen to those type of songs. I will see some little kids and they will be the way they will be singing these lyrics, and I will just be like, where did they get these lyrics from? But it is just based on the kind of environment they found themselves and the kind of, you look at the impact they made, the impact my parents made on the kind of music I listen to is what actually shaping me to the kind of music I listen to now. But if they were listening to the likes of if they were during those days they listened to this we listened to this song, this Zulezu song, Kerewa.
Okay, Kerewa, yeah.
But you cannot say Kerewa. You can only vibe to the song, but if you say Kerewa, they'll be like, where did you hear that one from? So,
Have you ever been in a situation whereby you are listening to a song with earpiece and you are not conscious of your environment? Maybe your dad or your mom is there, and you just begin to sing out loud, and you just probably hear a tap on the back of your head, or they look at you like, what are you singing? Because I think I remember one time I was singing one Fela song, and the Fela song was like, then key my mama, then key my mama.
Oh God. There's this kind of songs. I really can't.
And my mom was like, who key me?
There's this kind of song, yeah. I really can't. I'm trying to remember that song, because that song, it was not even my mom that punished me for it. It was the people around me that had me singing that song that punished me for it. Like serious punishment. Oh my goodness. The song was like my mommy has died. My mommy would die if she did not give birth to me. I don't know. I really can't remember that lyrics, song. Yeah. I really can't remember that song. But I knew that I received punishment for that song. Like, there was just the people around before they even went ahead to tell her. They already punished me.
Is there any is there any genre of music that you picked up from your parents that you still listening to right about now?
Yes, I would say R&B. I would say Afrobeat.
When you say R&B, it's funny because it makes me feel like your parents are very, very romantic set of couples. Because I mean, in the Nigerian, I'm serious, because in the Nigerian setting, it's very rare for you to go to a Nigerian household and you see their parents listening to R&B.
Oh, they listen to R&B.
If they are Yorubas, it's either Fuji or Akpala.
I know, that's not the only
Igbos, it is high life and their cultural. If it is outside, it is their.
No,
so when you now talk about R&B, I feel like are your parents from the UK or from the US? Because
no.
R&B.
Because most of the songs they used to play, say it's usually this English language music, not this our Yoruba or Igbo. Like
Okay.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
What you're
Like
saying.
imagine how to get leaks. Then it was usually this
Leaks, yeah, that's
this
what we
CD.
buy. At least buying those
So those are the things they used to bring home, and the likes of when these guys released an album, Olufumi album,
Star Plus,
the band,
yeah.
P Square, because like even the background of my family, like there's none of them that they won't have a choice between P Square, the band, and Two Face.
Wow.
Olufumi, Star Plus,
Star Plus.
because those are the kind of people they used to buy their albums a lot then. They are always keeping it updated and stuff like that. So even till now, I barely listen to maybe all this kind of traditional music. I barely listen to them. But then I still listen to Nigerian music. I still listen to African music. I'm even now trying to go more deep into African music because of their languages, like maybe other language like Swahili, French, and co.
You spoke about wanting to listen to more of African music. Let me just advertise myself on my podcast.
Okay.
On the Chacha Music Review podcast,
Okay.
what I basically do is to make sure that people listen to African music, because I talk about songs from top African artists. So trust me, if you are looking for that African song you want to listen to, just go and listen to Chacha Music Review podcast. You get those African songs very, very much there.
Wow.
Now, before I allow you go, I mean, let's just round up the conversation. Let's just talk about one, musical moment you had with your parents, whether your dad or your mom. Just that musical moment that you always remember in your head, if there's any, one. Because for me, I think the musical moment that I had with my dad was when I was in Abuja with my dad, and he was playing Fela. I think that was the first time my dad and I actually connected on a music level. Like it was very, very, I can never forget. That was a very deep connection for me. My dad had just bought his car around that period, and we're just one of those days like daddy just wanted to take us out, so he took me out, went to go and buy suya and ice cream, and in the car Fela came on playing. I can't forget that Fela song. It was zombie, oh zombie, zombie, oh zombie. So the song was coming up, I was vibing to it. I was, trying to zombie. And my dad started giving me the history of the song, of how Fela recorded the song, why Fela recorded the song. And I won't lie to you, I think that was probably one of the longest conversations my dad and I have had, and we didn't have any fight.
Wow.
Because typically, me and my dad, we don't have conversation more than 10-15 minutes and we begin to fight. But for throughout that conversation about that song, it was a very, very lovely conversation. And for me, every time I remember that, and I think that was what kept me into Afrobeat for life. That conversation right there with that song playing with my dad, and that song Zombie still remains one of my best song of Fela ever because of that connection. So was there any type of that incident you had with your parent that you look back and feel like, man, I remember when this song was playing, my dad or my mom,
Yes, there was. There is actually gospel music. We have this Babara song.
Babara, may you so rest in peace.
I'm trying to remember that song. We had this Babara song. I don't know if you know Dari Melody.
Yeah, I know Dari Melody.
Yeah,
also.
that guy too was trending during those days. Dari Melody. I really can't remember those songs, but this kind of songs. There's this Yinka Ayefele songs too. This album, maybe Next Level or something. So each time I listen to any single from that album, I would just picture what I was doing with my family during that time. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's just like there's just this kind of connection with it that each time I remember something, each time I was just passing by and I hear the music, immediately my head would just be like, okay, this is the moment. The days of I said Babara, I said Dari Melody, those gospel music. Yeah, so that's just it.
All right, so finally, you've mentioned that you're a podcaster, you're a freelance writer.
Yeah.
Just tell the people that are listening a little bit about your podcast.
Well, about my podcast, we talk about relatable contents. It could be religious, it could be relationship life, it could be self-improvement, anything that's
be music.
it's no music. Let me leave music for you. But my contents are just based on anything relatable.
All right.
And
So
I'm
what's the name of the podcast?
The Chat Lounge.
The Chat Lounge. Oh, no wonder you're chatty.
That's just me.
All right. So how can they follow you on social media to connect with you and all that?
Okay, on Instagram and on Twitter, I am Timmy Gold.
Okay.
That's my
That was
username.
on Twitter and on
Instagram. Yeah.
All right, no problem. Thank you very much, Timmy, for doing this. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
bringing me into your show.
I
I
hope
truly
we
appreciate
can
it.
get to do this more and more.
Of course we can. Thank you. And continue to listen to the Chacha podcast.
Yes, so my people, when I don't hear so make una dey listen to it. Listen to the Chacha Music Review Podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Like I said, this episode is strictly dedicated to my dad. May he so continue to rest in peace. Thank you very much for making me have deeper connection to music. It's like come here with another episode of the Chacha Let's Talk Music series on the Chacha Music Review Podcast. My name still remains Hafeestonova, aka your musical plug, creator of the Energy Force.
Bye bye.
Peace out.
Off the mic.